Hi, I'm Lance Riddle. I'm a student at Gold Lake High School, and this is for my video game development course. Last week, you I remember that I was working on the Programming Essentials branch of the Unity Essentials pathway, um, and here's what I was doing. This was my progress last week. I added the movement script to my mouse that I added in and attached the camera and everything, so that I can actually control it. I added a collectible. I rotated a little bit weird, but it worked. Um, and I made it so that the mouse, when you touch that collectible, it would actually pick it up. And then also, yeah, so I made the collectible and added some particles that appear when you touch it, and it would disappear. And then I also um, did some more things, such as adding a jump feature, and it was again pretty jank. And you could, when you could jump infinitely. Um, so this week I um, completed the rest of the Unity Essentials pathway. So I worked through the 2D Essentials where I set up the room, and then I made a puzzle game. I'm not sure how much of a puzzle it is, but move around the room and collect some more collectibles. And um, there's some sorry, furniture that I added. That's like an obstacle to get around. Um, and I added a pet that had an animation that would loop and play back and forth. Um, and for the extra or more things to try, I rearranged the furniture to make it a little bit more of a difficult thing to get around. And also, um, I changed the color of the walls. And then I did the quiz. And then I finished up the publishing essentials as well, where some of this I just checked off because I already have my portfolio here on Wix. But I published it to the web so you can play it. And I just checked this off. I didn't add an additional scene because it wasn't working properly for whatever reason. But I'm capturing a video basically right now and sharing things. Also, right now, kind of. So here's again what I've been working on, the Unity Learn with the Unity path, or the Unity Essentials pathway. And also this week, I just started to set up the next pathway here for the junior programming. So I have all the different steps and everything in the checklists. So here I'll start checking things out. So here in my 2D Essentials pathway, the first thing I did was set up the player and the room. So just added some walls and everything, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay. So here's my 2D scene. I have my character here, and currently I'm in the 3D mode, but there's a button up here that allows you to switch it into 2D, which is obviously convenient for working in 2D environments. Here I have my walls on each corner of the room, and I added a script to move the player. So I can increase the speed here, but once it loads up, I should be able to use WASD to move the alien ship guy around. Okay, so here I can move him around. He has no real physics, he just glides around at the moment. And there's nothing really for him to interact with other than the walls, which the walls actually I added a glider onto, and I had to add one onto the player as well for the moment, so that he would be able to, because before I added that, he would just slide right over the walls. And also here in the gravity scale and everything, um, I made it so this is 0. Otherwise, he will slide down. So like if it was 10, then he starts sliding down. And I can still move him, but he falls. And for this top-down 2D view, that doesn't make sense that he'd fall just to this side of the room, you know. And I also changed this linear damping, so I can show you that in a minute with some furniture and everything. But this is basically how much it slides around the floor. So if it's more like this, it's like there's more friction pushing against the character or everything. But the reason he was sliding around is because it's 0 in the initial thing. Okay, so here I completed the puzzle game, so I added furniture and collectibles, it says there. I'll check this out and show you it. Okay, so here you can see that I add furniture, like here. There's a rug and some couches and everything. And you can see that when I click on one of these, that it has an order in layer. And that means that, like, because this is 5 and this is 10, I think. Yeah, 10. This means that this one will be on top of this one. See, if I change this to like 10 as well, then it'll just go on top of everything. But I want the rug underneath of this. I also added that to my player so that he is also on the same level as the furniture, so that he won't move under it or over all of it without issues or anything. I can't remember if I added the... Yeah, so I made it so these, you can shove the furniture around. I also added this collectible UI. So when you push the furniture around, it just all slides around pretty easily. And I believe I changed the mass in this, so the big couch is heavier, and this is more in the middle, and the tables are a little bit easier to move around, and the chairs are the easiest to move around of everything. And yeah, as I was saying, there is also the remaining collectibles UI that I had here, and it goes down and does this. And here's all the effects that appear when you collect the collectibles. But you can see that things are just sliding around, like there's like barely any friction, and that's more things with the linear damping, and also the angular, I guess. And I also created an empty parent to contain all the movable furniture, as well as the stars, because there's quite a few of them, and it clogs up the hierarchy pretty well if it is like that. Okay, so in this one, I added the animated pet. So I chose the dog one that I had in the presets for the Unity Essentials automatically. But basically, you drag a bunch of images into a file or like a sheet of images. For this dog, like I had to slice the images apart. So I'll try and find it real quick. So here is where it is. Initially, I had this image of a bunch of these different dog images. So like you can see that his tail's wagging around, and towards the end it's kind of blocked, but he's blinking. But there was an automatic slice thing to put these into different images, and then play them like this with a specific feature in this. Like it's pretty easy to make it into an animation. So yeah, like up here is the slice that splits it into a bunch of different images. And yeah, that's mostly how I edited the thing. I added a circle collider so that you can interact with the dog. So when I load it up, I can run into it. I had a couple more collectibles that wasn't really necessary. So you can see that the dog moves around. Still moves around a little bit unnaturally, but because of the circle collider, if I had used like mesh glider. I'm not sure that it worked because it's not really solid shape. Um, but you can see that I'm not really touching the dog and it's moving around. Because the glider is larger than this, you can see the circle around it. So then I did some more things here, like the more things to try step. Um, I don't know if I actually showcased this, but here's this. So like I have all this here. So like this step specifically is what I mean. Um, so I'll show you that in a second. So in this step, you can see that I move some furniture around, so that there's a little bit more of a direct path for the stars and everything. And there's like the furniture gets in your way if you try and push through it and get down here. I believe I also made it a bit harder to move. And then the end, you get to the dog and everything. So I added another wall here just to make it a little bit harder to get over here and just zoom around there, and that would have messed it up a little bit. And I changed the color of the walls also. It was white and now it's a black color. Changing the color of the walls was pretty easy. Just go here and I could change it to like green if I wanted. You can see. I think there's that. But yeah, that's mostly it for this step. And this last commit that I have here, I'll show you in a minute what this actually means. Because it was part of my the publishing branch, publishing essentials. So I'll switch that one now, or discard this, and then publishing. So here on the publishing essentials branch, it wasn't really working super well. And it didn't mess it with anything to merge to the main, so that's mostly what I did. For some reason, I couldn't merge into the publishing essentials. So here on the main, I just merged all my other branches. So Squash is also merged. It's just moving it into one commit for all of the different changes and everything, rather than showing each and every commit on the main. So here, I merged all these different branches, so like my programming and everything. And in my publishing essentials branch, here, I have all these steps, and this was the big thing for here, was just adding this to or uploading this. So in Unity, I have this. I had to build the branch, which I can show you in a second. I also added some main menu scene, which allows you to navigate through the different scenes and everything. Yeah, so here's my menu scene. It should not be in 2D. I added the background of the programming essentials just because I liked it. I like to have some background in the main menu. And these little widgets, like things here, I believe you can change them somewhere. The gizmos, yeah. So like you can change the size. They were like really big like that, but I just moved them down. But when you press play, I move the camera so that it's at this angle. And you can click on any of these. Like if I want to go to my 2D game, then I can do that. Or if I wanted to go to programming or something, then I can do that. So I could go click these and everything. Mostly what I did was I dropped these into this panel scene list, so you can see that all these scenes that I've been using, I just dropped them in here, so that they are linked to those different scenes. Yeah. I also added my name here and changed the color of the text a little bit. Yeah. And as I mentioned, I started, and that was basically, or actually, I should demonstrate something else. Okay, so once I had all this built, once I put this main menu together and everything, I just build profiles and on the web. Um, so you can build something here, which means that like it'll um, just make this as an actual game, rather than just the Unity template and everything. Um, so I'm not gonna do this right now because it takes quite a while to build things. But um, I, I did this specifically on the web so that I would upload there. You can do this so it's like a different game, and like I guess maybe if you want to do a Steam game or something, then you build it here, um, and you can upload it to Steam somehow. Okay. Yeah. And after doing all that, I upload this to GitHub and everything. So here in my Unity Essentials, I got everything here. So my main and all my branches. Um, so yeah, that's mostly what I've been doing for this last week. I also just started to set up my junior programming. So I have each of the steps here that are aligned to the junior programming pathway. Um, so I have each of these, um, and I'll be working on the player control next week. Yeah, and maybe if I get into the basic gameplay and everything, I'm not sure. All right, I think that's it. Thank you for watching. See you next week.